Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo. It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Reporting live from the Dogon. Each one teach one, peace and love. Dogon, Dogon, Dogon. Each one teach one, peace and love. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Shout out to the Braves. Chop on for winning the World Series. Good look for the city. Shout out to the homie Max Freed. Whole time I thought that man's last name was Fried, but it's Freed, pronounced Freed. Spelled Fried, but pronounced Freed. Yeah. But yeah, let's get to it. This is a session of Mac Minutes. Again, thumbs up, give me the likes. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Give me the likes. This session of Mac Minutes will be entitled Fear of a Black Penis. Shout out to Public Enemy. So play on words, play off of Fear of a Black Planet. But yeah, I pretty much, in this session of Mac Minutes, Fear of a Black Penis, I want to talk about, I want to challenge the concept of black male privilege. I want to challenge the construct of laws, creating laws. And are these laws created to actually have a fair and just society? Or are these laws created to demonize and criminalize people, specifically black men? So we know that the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed, the Emancipation Proclamation came about in 1865. It was ratified, passed in 1865, and ultimately the Emancipation Proclamation is what freed slaves, freed the slaves. I don't like saying the slaves, but freed black people, freed the stolen Africans, freed my lineage, my bloodline. 1865. And around this time, a lot of different laws started to be passed. You had Vagrancy Laws. You had Jim Crow laws. Pretty much laws that laws were passed to pretty much keep black people as a whole in a subservient level. If you didn't have a job, you could get arrested. If you were just seen being out and about, you could literally just be arrested for not having a job or having free time. Vagrancy laws, Jim Crow laws. These laws were created to subjugate black people because they realized, okay, these black people are newly freed. We gave them the Freedmen's Bureau, which is supposed to socialize them and help them become socially mobile. But we can't let these N-words, I'm trying to be more PC now. I'm not going to be PC. We're not going to let these niggers come in here and get too uppity or become too successful where they pass us. One of the things that became very prevalent between 1882 and 1968, there were over 4,700 lynchings. This is according to the NAACP. There were over 4,700 people were lynched, specifically black men. A lot of these black men were lynched for either looking at a. First of all, let's get to the specifics of what lynching is. A lynching is basically when a mob comes in, when a mob of people pursue a person and murder them. Again, from 18, from, give me 1 second, from 1882 to 1968, there were over 4,700 lynchings. And the thing that's wild about it is a lot of these black men, one thing I found out was that you actually had white people that were lynched too. A lot of times these white people were lynched by other white people for helping black people. Isn't that crazy? You had white people who were actually being decent human beings and, God-fearing, trying to show the love of Christ, trying to be, solid Christian people, and were helping black people, and they were murdered, lynched by other God-fearing white Christians. And it's crazy. A lot of these lynchings, they would have them they would have them right after church. sometimes before church, and a lot of times when these black men were lynched, it was either for looking at a white woman, acknowledging a white woman's presence. What else? A lot of times there were false accusations of rape. George Steiny, R.I.P. I think it's pronounced Steiny. There are just too many names to mention of black men who were falsely accused of rape and were murdered. And a lot of times with these lynchings, they would go as far as cutting off the fingers of these men, cutting off their penises, cutting off their scrotums, like castrating them. Sometimes even going as far as making these men eat their own genitalia. That lets you know how wicked, how egregious, how nefarious the paradigm of a lot of white men has been. That you would dehumanize somebody like that. That you would totally dismember someone like that. You know, I can remember as a child going to Mississippi, and my grandfather would tell me stories like that. You know, of black men being lynched. And I used to always wonder, like, when my grandfather got around white men, it was like he would be on defense. He would be on guard. He would be really chill, and his body language would completely change when he got around white men. It was like he was always on guard. But as I got older, I realized why. Pretty much, everything was centered around a black man's sexuality. Like, there was this fear that these black men were going to take our white women and they were going to sleep with them, and then they're going to procreate, and then they're just going to flush our race out. We have to be pure and pristine white people, and we can't let this Negro blood mix in with what we got going on. So there's always been a fear of a black penis, fear of black male sexuality. What else do you have here? Let me find it. Even as of now, as of 2021, there is no federal anti-lynching bill. There have been over 200. Attempts to pass a lynching bill, and it's either been passed in the House or not in the Senate. There's never been the equilibrium to get an anti-lynching bill passed. Rand Paul, who is of the Republican Party, he shot down the lynching bill because he feels like the concept of lynching can become very broad in its scope, and that essentially his concern was, in essence, that police brutality would fall under the title of lynching. And he felt like, well, this would affect the legal system. This would affect the nature of our policing. And we would, and a whole can of worms would come up from that. But the bottom line is, Mr. Paul, it is lynching. It is lynching. I mean, what happened to George Floyd, that was a lynching. Countless other black men, not even just black men, but just countless other victims that have died at the hands of police. A lot of times, essentially, those were lynchings. Right? Those are legal lynchings. Yeah, so I think it's very interesting how I've heard people speak of black male privilege when essentially laws were created laws are still in existence. Laws have been created to subjugate black men, to take agency away from black men, to demonize and criminalize and dehumanize black men. I can remember finding out that the caliber of pistols that police actually use, they upped the caliber or enhanced the caliber because they needed a stronger bullet to kill these black men who were such a threat. You had the film Birth of a Nation, which was passed, when did it come out? Birth of a Nation, give me 1 second. I try to be right and exact over here at MACK TV. Birth of a Nation came out February 8th, 1915. Birth of a Nation was propaganda at its finest. It pretty much bought into the whole narrative, or sold the whole narrative, of black men being hypersexual, black men being, again, hypersexual, like very sexually charged. And the Ku Klux Klan had to protect society by controlling these black men, by mitigating these black men, because they're monsters. Throughout Birth of a Nation, I think there are scenes where, because the whole context of it is Emancipation Proclamation, Freedmen's Bureau. These black people, they're now free, and because of their freedom, these black men, these hypersexually charged black men, are gonna just go about raping. And I want to even say during that time, as a scientist myself, a nursing student, I realized that there has been a lot of pseudoscience that has been propagated. During that time, there were even scientists that were saying, and this is like late 1800s, 1900s, early 1900s, that were saying that black men were biologically predisposed to rape. We just walk around wanting to rape women, especially white women. But that's, yeah. But back to Birth of a Nation, the context was pretty much, these black people are free now, and these black men are going to go around raping and hurting and harming everybody. And that images are powerful. Images speak to your subconscious. Images create a narrative in your brain and your mind. And a lot of people during that time, they were brainwashed. Oh my goodness, these black men are just going to go around raping. They're going to rape my daughter. They're going to rape my wife. They're going to just rape. So KKK, Ku Klux Klan, they're the saviors in this film. Black people throughout that film were shown to be like animals, like monkeys, like lazy, just in a constant pursuit of pleasure, And I think there's like a scene where they're in Congress, they're in some political building at a political meeting, trying to come up with laws, and they're lazy, they're eating food, they're playing with their feet. Just the whole narrative was just that black men, black people as a whole, but specifically black men, were just lazy, good for nothing, shiftless, no morals, no sense of integrity. So again, the whole narrative that's been pushed is black men are a danger to society. And I think, we're still dealing with the residual consequence of all that now. I've always felt from the time I was a little boy, I was treated as if I was a problem before I was a person. Even now, like I remember when I first was, upon graduating from Georgia State, shout out to GSU Panthers. Upon my graduation from Georgia State, I meet black men who were telling me like, yeah, Maurice, you wanna get a good job, you wanna be able to provide for your family, so you kinda gotta, talk with your voice a little lighter. Be mindful of how you dress. Always try to be presentable. And I understand wanting to look the part. You want to present yourself as a competent, cogent human being. But in a lot of ways, it came across like they were saying, don't appear too black. Don't appear too threatening. Smile a lot. Lighten up your voice. Take the bass out your voice. Just wear these really tight suits. Just almost like that. Like I had to make myself smaller, make myself less black, so I could appear less threatening. And I understand at the end of the day, black male strength, black male sexuality, us just naturally being ourselves is perceived as a threat. And these white folks, they've been sold a narrative, and they took that narrative and they sold it to other people. They sold it to non-white folks. And let me see. Again, there have been whole towns that have been destroyed. Tulsa, Tulsa race riot. There have been towns that have been destroyed over a white woman's false accusations. And I really feel like the the notion of black male privilege is nonsense, because there's always been, we have always been stamped as being ominous, as being wicked, as being predators. And a lot of these white women, they'll talk about how much they hate the patriarchy, down with the patriarchy. But by proxy, white women have benefited from patriarchy. You know, white men, they've accrued a lot of wealth. And who did they share that wealth with? White women. I'm not going to sit here and act like, women have not. I'm not going to sit here and act like women have not. I'm not going to sit here and act like women have always been humanized. They haven't. But I will say, a lot of the things that white men have done, it has been to benefit the white power structure, the white family unit. You know, what have you. Now you want to text me. Essentially, a lot of white men felt like they sustained their manhood, or they recaptured their manhood by killing black men in defense of white women. Falsely. The majority of the time, falsely. Again, it's 2021. Lynching is still not considered a federal crime. I think that's very problematic. From Emmett Till, just so many black men have been innocent and have been victimized. You know, to the point where our humanity has not been acknowledged, and there's a whole paradigm that has a false. How do I say it? There has been a whole notion of just black male criminality that has always been perpetuated. You know. But yeah, fear of a black penis. The notion of black male privilege, I just think it's funny to me. I've even heard white men